Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it.
Hello and welcome everyone. You are watching the PUBG Mobile South Asia Pro Scrims 2021 brought to you by Nodwin Gaming. My name is Fixes, of course, joined along with the second member of the Panda Bros. That's, of course, going to be Necro. And it's been a while. So, how are you?
Well, I mean, I'm doing absolutely fantastic. I mean, to be honest, it's been a while that we have even had a conversation. I really want to know how you're doing as well.
You know, I'm resorting to the healthy ways of life, sipping on my green tea, and yeah, wondering if I can lose a few weight, few fats here and there, or whatever. Ladies and gentlemen, we're not here to discuss about us. We are here for the finals. From 24 teams, now we are down to only 16 remaining. So yes, things are gonna get so exciting. I mean, a lot of big names did falter out though. But what do you think over the next 2 days? Who do you think is gonna emerge out as the champion over here?
Well, I mean, we do have some PMPL teams, up in here, and we have seen a lot of teams actually do really good, even inside PMPL. For example, a team like STALWARTxFLEX. Now, I'm expecting that team to actually dominate this one as well, but DRS is there. DRS are the winners, and they are here as well. And I am expecting some incredible performance from those lads as well.
Yeah, of course. But it's about the prize money right now. The moolah that's on the line. $2,000 is the prize pool that we have for you guys. And the first position, whoever wins it, takes home $1,000. And $1,000 is a lot, considering my latest
Exactly.
interest in cryptocurrency. So yeah, it's a lot of money, and you're gonna just double, maybe quadruple that money if you invest wisely. But either ways, to do that, you of course have to earn a lot of points, right? So for every kill you do get that 1 point. We are aware of that. We are also aware with this kind of a point structure, the first position getting 15 and so on, reducing till 13 to 16 getting nada.
Exactly. I mean, pretty much the standard one, fixes that we have been seeing since a long time. And we do know that 1 point per kill can change a lot of things, can actually make a lot of comebacks happen. And we have seen that in the past as well. Let's take a look at these top 16 teams that have been came up top and that have proved their grounds.
Well, Team QWERTY is certainly one of those teams I need to get brushed up on, because I believe this team has been some other team which has been acquired by this org called QWERTY. But either ways, as you can see, the big names over here that have already made it to the top 16, and DRS Gaming is definitely one of
Yep.
those teams that we need to keep our eyes on, the champions of this time's PMPL, but haven't been having quite a good time. So yes, let's wait and see. They've made it into the top 16. Now, coming to the schedule that we have lined up for you, the first match is, of course, going to be played in Erangel. Second is going to be played in Sanhok, followed by Miramar.
Well, I mean, a little bit of each. We need to have those kind of a mixture going on over here. And especially if you're going to be having a little bit of all those maps, you are basically like testing the limits of these players. And I'm pretty sure they're over here. They are playing these scrims because they are one of the best. And I don't really know if it's testing their grounds is going to be a good word, but it's more kind of like putting your skills to the best usage inside these scrims and knowing how teams are playing inside these scrims. It's more kind of like learning their game pattern.
Yeah, of course. I mean, the seriousness is obviously a bit too low, but I think during the finals, everyone sort of, wakes up is like,
Yeah,
guys, money is on the line. We gotta give our best shot, and maybe, just walk off being $1,000 richer. Right, and of course the bragging
exactly.
rights that come along with it. I mean, you're talking about being one of the best again in the entire region. Now, a few of the teams that haven't been able to play the PMPL. Now you're up against the champions. Now this comes down to this, right? Imagine you're a decent team. You've just qualified. Now you go on, defeat DRS Gaming and claim the top spot. You feel good about yourself. I mean,
Yeah,
I would if I take them down. So yeah, and another thing, we did get that update from our production. Of course, QWERTY is the new name for Team F4. So well, a new brand that they are going to be representing right now, but the players are same. So we are going to be expecting quite some explosive performance from them. What about you, Necro? How do you think about this new team? It's I mean, it's like the same wine served in a new bottle,
Yeah,
right? So
exactly. I
you're
mean,
talking about QWERTY. So yeah, your thoughts?
well, I mean, it's just like the name has changed. Nothing else has changed. The players are still the same. So it's just like a new name. They're just playing under a new name tag, under a new org and stuff like that. So I'm pretty sure they are pretty happy about Team QWERTY, by signing them, and I'm pretty sure the players are going to be quite boosted up. Their confidence is going to be on cloud nine, and I'm expecting some better performance this time.
Me too, 100%. I mean, you have Rehman, right? He does come in because while the PMPL was on, he was, of course, playing for a different team. But, during the pro scrims, he does come in into the play, and we know how explosive he gets. But at the same time, you do have this friendly rivalry in the Pakistani region itself. The term to be the best, right? The title of being the best. And a lot of teams are in contention for that. But we have one ruler amongst them all. That's going to be STALWARTxFLEX. Now, comparisons have been drawn already. The news, the buzz is around everywhere. Who's the best player of Pakistan? A lot of them say it's Rahman. Now, a lot of them speculate it's going to be Crypto, considering how he performed during the PMPL. So the debate is, of course, on. But who do you think, according to your opinion, is the best? Can be someone else completely from the Pakistan
Well,
region, though.
Well, to be honest, you have known since the past, since the PMPL, I'm a massive fan of Crypto. Personally, I've seen
All
and
right.
analyzed his gameplay a lot much more than I've done of Rahman. Because in the PMPL, I really feel like Crypto was doing an incredible job inside
Yeah.
STALWARTxFLEX, and I really did feel like he deserved each and every single limelight that he had gotten for it. Rahman, again, a player who is brilliant, has a lot of experience on his back. So, I mean, between these two players, it's kind of a tough competition. I would say Rahman is still a little higher on the respectable side over here.
I mean, you're talking about in terms of how he's respected in the community. Yes,
Yeah.
100%. But Crypto is also building his way up. Now, we've been, hearing a lot of buzz around Johnny as well. Him being one of the really good players. So
Yeah.
I really like it the way the things are changing with new players coming in every single day. Now, the last time I think I was casting with Ankit, we did see a Bangladeshi domination come out, and lately we've been witnessing Futurestation finally making a decent comeback along with Venom Legends. So now the old guards are finally returning back. So yeah, I think a very very positive news for Bangladeshi teams and all the players, so that the teams that they look up to, they're making a comeback of their own, and maybe things are gonna get a whole lot spicy today. But apart from these two teams, any other team that you are gonna be eyeing out for, Necro, over here?
Other
From
than
Bangladesh.
DRS, yeah, other than DRS and Team
I mean, I'm
QWERTY
talking
and
about Bangladesh
STALWARTxFLEX.
teams just. All
Oh,
right, we
just
we are just sticking to Bangladeshi teams.
it's just Bangladesh. Okay, I would say Futurestation. I
I
think so.
mean, apart from them.
No, but the thing is like Future Station again, a team we need to have our eyes on. In the PMPL,
All right.
weren't really able to do that good, and now this time inside Scrims, I want to see some improvement coming out from these lads. They were always getting caught off guard in those rotations. Some risky rotations were coming out from their hands, and I really want to see some improvement, especially in the IGLing as well. I want to see some improvements coming out. I want to see those calls made on point.
Yeah, of course. But I've got this thing as well. I mean, A1 Esports again, one of those most explosive team. Now,
Yeah.
lately, I was just casting the PMCC Bangladesh region, and there was a team called TRG. I mean, the way they were playing, I mean, it was nuts, right? It was ludicrous. It was the world record being created, 7 chicken dinners out of 10. That is how explosive that team was, TRC. I mean, every single time you just come into playing, you are going to be anticipating. And well, I really wanted to see them perform today over here. But sadly, anyways, you still have A1 Esports. But that being said, we finally are set into our first game of the evening, ladies and gentlemen. And well, Necro, why don't you take this away?
Exactly. I mean, again, TDK is a team that we cannot be missing out on. Did absolutely fantastic even inside the PMPL, and I'm expecting some incredible performance, especially inside the finals as well. Taking a look at the plane fly path, flying right in from Primorsk and ending near Lipovka. Pretty interesting southern plane fly path. And definitely, we do know some of these drop spawns going in through. We are kind of seeing a curveball being thrown from the side of PN Crew. They usually like to go to our shooting range. But this time it seems like they've chosen a military base island. Maybe they think that it's going to be military circle. What do you think, so?
I mean, you talk about the military circle. I don't think it's possible. Nah. I think it's
Pretty
going
much
somewhere,
the same
maybe
style of
towards
flex again,
Yasnaya or maybe shooting
preferring their
range.
own drop
I
spawn.
think that's where it might go. I don't think certain circle is something that we would witness, but fingers crossed again. But you've got PN Crew with a really interesting rotation pattern over here going down south, because I think this is the squad that loves to go towards Severny, but maybe they're
Yeah.
trying something new. But hold on, we do have a hybrid circle. We do not know as of now if it's gonna go down south, but there is a slight possibility.
To be honest, I really think so. This circle is not going to go down south because the chances of it going down south are pretty minimal. They are pretty less. To be honest, this might be a bridge circle. This might be a left side bridge circle where we saw, Avon Esports kind of going out for that hilly spot. And we do know they do like to camp those spots out. But we might see some interesting early rotations going inside the circle as well, especially a team like TDK who likes to use those rotations in their favor. And then in the late game, this is where they cause a lot of havoc.
Well, it does cause a lot of havoc, but here we have. I mean, you talk about teams. It's T2K, one of the teams that had been ruling the charts, perhaps, of the pro scrims over here. So, of course, they are high on spirits and morale,
Mhm.
and they
Yeah.
do have their best playing folk, just coming in, and R3D. Well, do have the Mosin Nagat, does have the Iron Sight, takes one shot, but does not connect. It's fine. It was just a shot to kind of scare his enemy away, but does have the Uzi as well. So R3D, I'm rather surprised. They've just come up with three players.
Yeah, this has been quite an unfortunate stuff as well. Even in the PMCC, we saw R30 with only a three-man lineup, and which is quite interesting. You do need each and every single teammate, especially inside the game. And when you're going to be losing out on that one player, on that one diamond from your team, you are going to be having a lot of issues going inside your team, especially the strategies that you've planned with a four-man. Now you will have to limit it down just to a three-man, and sometimes you will also need to recreate a strategy, build a strategy around just three players. That is definitely going to be punishing the team spirits out a lot, and I'm pretty sure R3D might be struggling inside the finals today.
I mean, yep, that is a possibility, 100%. Right off the bat, you are being handicapped already. But DRS, this is one of the teams that we must look out for now. Now, we do know that A1 and DRS do love their Yasnaya Polyana. And this time it's going to be DRS that has taken control over it. But Team High Voltage, again, being one of those teams that you must talk about,
Yeah.
because they've gone for an interesting 3-1 split over there on towards the school and apartment side. And considering how this circle has been, I think they have to make an early rotation over here.
High Voltage again, a team that is known for their strategical gameplay. Inside each and every single fight, they actually plan it out and then execute it perfectly. And we have seen in the past as well how High Voltage challenge each and every single fight. Sometimes they have those different routes depending on those areas, depending on the surroundings, how much cover they have available. Their utility usage is on point as well. Especially a team like DRS fixes, even in the PMPO, they weren't missing a single utility.
Yep, 100%. I mean, especially Assassin, the way he's been
Yeah,
playing, and of course, Kuni, if, being one of those players that has really risen up to the occasion. Got Extreme coming in from Team Cheyenne Mara, I believe, and
yep.
he's still taking his own sweet time to settle in. He hasn't been the worst, but hasn't been the best either, right? So has been somewhere in the middle of things, and I'm pretty sure with time he's definitely gonna start rising up. But moving on and talking about other teams, I'm really keen as to where team QWERTY are, because a new name comes in and you start speculating as to how these lads will perform. But here we have in front of us A1 Esports. Kind of very similar to one of those you know uh, European orgs, Team Fnatic plays like, right? They do have a
Yeah,
certain rotation as of that, and you've got a 3-1 split right now. They're all looting heartily, so yeah, they're enjoying themselves.
exactly. I mean, enjoying yourself inside is definitely going to be more kind of like a big thing to do, because if you're gonna be in a mindset where if something happens and then you're just gonna get mad about it, sometimes that can actually ruin your entire gameplay. So you having fun, enjoying it at the same time you're having your best mindset inside the game as well is gonna be helping you out a lot inside any kind of competition, any kind of games you're playing. It's definitely is going to be helping you out a lot. And mindset, we do know it's one of the most biggest thing inside each and every single game, especially when you're playing such kind of critical competition, especially if you're inside a final game. We do know sometimes those mindsets do get weaker. And if you are going to be having a strong one, then maybe you will be heavy against your opponent.
Of course. Now, considering how the circle has been, Necro, I think, what do you feel? Is it going down south, or do we expect a bridge circle maybe? That happens quite rarely, but when it does, my oh my, the action that
Yeah.
we get to, witness, that
Yeah.
is completely bizarre.
Exactly. Talking about those bridges actions, we do know the circle does get kind of, out in the open, and all these people do have to make their ways out in the bridges, and this is when the real havoc is caused. This is when the real rumpus begins. And I really want to see how these teams are going to be approaching the bridge areas, because at this point in time, I really feel like this might be a bridge circle, but still a little bit up on the north. What do you think?
I mean, towards north, yes, it is a slight possibility, of course. And right now, you've got to see as to, what really happens. Because we kind of witnessing that lull in the lobby, nothing much really happening as blah blah blah. He's running for his life as the players of R3G are going in for the push. You've got Mom 2, you've got Joker, Insane, and Roshan. So a new roster is what I see. But blah blah blah. Can he fend these four players off? And Joker has taken quite some damage over there. That nade being tossed out, but barely doing anything at all. But blah 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 will definitely deploy those smokes as an escape route to get the hell away from here.
Quite unfortunate positioning coming out from side of TDK here, but the backup is there from the back lines, providing that essential cover fire, buying enough time for blah 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 to think out from this situation. I'm pretty sure at this point in time, blah 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 doesn't have enough smoke grenades to actually build a wall all the way across to his teammates. So he should just wait the situation out. Maybe expect to get one knockdown. Maybe that will buy him enough time to get him out that situation. But here we go. The buggy was driven in, and what an incredible escape.
Indeed, it was, and you gotta expect it from the likes of blah blah blah. Right now, you've got Joker. He's taking a few shots, but nothing much really connecting. And R3G and of course Team T2K. Now they're gonna walk their separate ways. I think just out of the harm's way, and yeah, pretty much. Not a lot of action happening, not a lot of fights that have taken place. We are yet to witness our knocks. All these times, all these teams rather are
Mhm.
taking their own sweet time to just go in for the rotation. But hold on, because Blade has managed to secure one of those knocks, and this one is big because it's A1 Esports that we're talking about is in the receiving end of things.
Exactly. Thinking your each and every single year step out is definitely going to be a massive factor. Blood Legion opening the fray up with already a kill and finishing it instantly. Insane, not really having the time of his life. As Sinister is caught out, all out in the open, and it seems like they're not going to be missing any shots. It's going to be Crypto taking him down. Sinister, quite unfortunate. A big man for a team like Avon Esports. You do not want to lose out on a player like Sinister, but it seems like they don't really have any choice. They're just going to get back inside their vehicles and decide to run away from a situation like this. And this is where STALWARTxFLEX actually absolutely rolled the players of Avon Esports.
Again, it's STALWARTxFLEX, baby. The way these lads have been playing, catching the players of A1 Esports off guard and then just thwarting them away. And, well, A1 Esports making a run for their life. Now, that's a big statement coming in from the Pakistani teams over here. And, well, Kangaroo is definitely one of the newer names that I did witness. Well, puts me into pondering as to who that player might be.
Kangaroo. Again, I mean, I'm pretty much expecting some incredible performance if he's playing for a big team like Avon Esports, especially Avon Esports. Now, it seems like they're going head-to-head against the players of TDK. TDK definitely do have that man advantage going in for themselves. As 1952 Tofik this time opening his things up, and 1952 again, a team we need to talk about. Fixes. I mean, a team that is not getting that much of a limelight, but at the same time, I really feel like entry inside that team and even all the players are doing quite an incredible and fantastic job holding them in with the top dogs.
All right, so now A1 Esports, coming from a very troublesome situation, have landed themselves in another, as rated this time from T2K. Does want to go with the push. It's a few shots riddled at him,
Whoa.
but that is not really detrimental because he's gonna get that beautiful knock onto its Kangaroo, and in a jiffy, the squad is wiped out. Two players gone down. T2K coming out on top in this fight, getting those two crucial points and a squad wipe.
Within the blink of an eye, Avon Esport is out the game. Quite an unfortunate starting for them. TDK definitely did have that man advantage. The way they played it out, Radicer in the back lines provide that essential cover fire, and then the rest of the players did push in forward and take down the last man. That was an incredible, precise laser beam spray coming in from the side of Radicer. Now, as I was talking about 1952, a team that is doing an incredible job holding themselves in, and I really feel like they are going to be one of the best inside the Bangladesh soon as well.
I mean, they definitely will be, no doubt about that. But, this sort of tickles me in a really good manner, though. The second airdrop coming in, MK14 with 4 times. I mean, I love it. I love the
Yep.
4 times in Erangel. I mean, you've got a 6, that's ideal, but a 4 times, pretty much does the job. And we do know what this weapon is capable of in it. But right now, I mean, T2K again having such a comfortable start, and them securing all these kills. I think it's gonna just you know uh, kind of is an indication of even bigger things to come from their side, because the way they played in PMPL, yes, fine, but I think this team is destined for even bigger things.
For sure, they're destined for even bigger things. But now, one thing I've noticed is that TDK have already gotten themselves a stronger start inside the game. And this is what is helping them up in those charts, right? If you're going to be getting a stronger start inside the game, you're already going to be having your confidence boosted up quite high. And this is what is helping TDK up as well. The mindset is also good on these players. You can tell by the way they're playing. They're quite fearless about some situations, and sometimes you do need to be fearless. And here we go. Some shots being taken, players being knocked down. 1952 seems like they're quite in a bit of trouble. T-Line as well going down. Tofik following it up, and now Sharp as well going down. Entry, the last man alive. He has all the responsibilities on his shoulder. He's getting caught off guard. Now they are the center of attraction. They need to find themselves a better spot, or maybe just smoke themselves out, and Entry is doing the exact thing.
I mean, he's been spotted out, Necro. Right? There's no chance on earth that they are going to survive. And with that being said, of course, the boys coming in from STALWARTxFLEX did some hefty amount of damage. And it was just not STALWARTxFLEX, right? It was a combined effort from a lot of
Yep.
different teams. Even the players of 7Cs did chime in. And as a result of which, 952 now are history. And, this is where you kind of feel disappointed, right? Now,
Yeah.
952 is one of those teams from Bangladesh to qualify for the championship finals. Now
Mhm.
they're trying their best with a new roster they've got in C Wine with them, but he hasn't been able to gel up so far. I think will take some time, but eventually when he will, we know that this player does have the caliber, right, of even
Yep.
bigger things.
For
But here
sure.
we have in front of us Team Gods Reborn. Let's see what these lads are up to. We've got Sadmat just proned in, trying to eye out for any unwanted person in the vicinity, and seems to find none.
Again, God's Reborn, a team that has been pretty good inside the PMCOs. And I'm expecting some similar kind of performance inside the scrims as well. Maybe a little bit updated version of that. Maybe they need to update their strategies up. Maybe they need to do some unpredictable things that their opponent is not expecting them to do. And this is what we like to see, the unpredictableness. The randomness sometimes also kind of impresses me. But R3D this time, Wire's getting caught off guard. Already they were down to a 3-man squad, and now they're just down to a 2-man. And Venom Legends as well, somewhere down line, getting caught off guard in those open grounds. It's going to be rough with who is out in the open, kind of in trouble, 7C as well. But the res will be there from the side of 7C. They have a lot of cover of those houses, so that shouldn't be a lot of problem. Rig will be there as a mother taking care of his teammates, making sure he's back on his feet. But take a look at this. So many smokes being thrown from the side of Venom Legends, making that smoke wall towards his teammate, but already lost out on Nightwing, and this is quite unfortunate.
Indeed, it is 100% quite unfortunate. Now you've got to take a look at the kind of a traffic that has built up over here in Pachinki, because well, I've to gotta be honest, I haven't seen the zone in quite some time. But R3G, well, you've got Roshan just getting caught off, and the players of 7C make no mistake in taking him down. Now Venom Legends, they're in a bit of a pickle. They gotta get that revive on towards Rafet. Have gotten that one up, and yes, he's back on his foot. But at the same time, a Pachinki circle is what we are sort of anticipating. And right now, taking a look at things, I really like how Assassin has positioned himself in the Wizard Tower. Now, the fact that he's been spotted out, that's not a good news for him, considering, now everyone sort of has an eye towards him. The moment he steps out of his cover, if the circle sort of does not favor him, then he's basically done for.
There are 5 teams right next to each other. The circle is dead smack center in Pochinki. And we might expect some Pochinki action going in as well. And we all do know sometimes it does get quite interesting. Ozzy opening things up on the players of Alpha, but unfortunate start. And he's Deadeyes as well opening things up on DRS. Now that's a massive fight. These are 2 Alpha Titans clashing against each other. I want to see which one comes out on top. Of course, both of these Nepali teams are one of the top dogs in their regions, and I really want to see which one does come out on top. PN Crew going head-to-head against the players of God's Reborn, and God's Reborn seems like they are in a bit of pickle. Sketch seems like he's going to be backing off this time, which is a pretty brilliant move. And he needs to make sure he is staying alive for as long as possible. But no, he was stuck inside that bug. He gets knocked out by that brilliant placed Molotov.
Indeed, but the fight is still on. As Sadmat is the only one that has fallen down, as P and crew have finally decided to rush in. And here comes Killer. We do know how explosive this player can be. He's just marking himself. He's just, trying to play things a bit safe. But Killer finally goes in for the kill. Gets that knock onto its Luckless. And would want to take a take onto its Sketch, but does spot out Chachiro in the far off range. And before that, just want to secure the kill. Does that in a fashion. But right now, what we're going to expect is God's Reborn. What are they going to come up with? How are they going to retaliate?
It's going to be pretty tough to retaliate back, because the way they have positioned themselves, they are getting quite in a bit of trouble between two teams, and now again they're getting pushed by Deadeyes here, and yes, they're going to be catching them off guard. Deadeyes again, she's still getting caught off guard from the backlines. Beautiful positioning from Yashiro there to provide that essential cold fire. But for how long? Yashiro has given his position away. Hungrybox has spotted him out as well. This is where Yashiro, I really feel like at this point in time, he should be repositioning himself. If you're just going to be sticking with one position, it's pretty much revealed. Then you need to reposition yourself. TDK ramming their vehicles straight inside the compound of Blood Legion. And Blood Legion up till now are doing a pretty fantastic job holding them off guard. Rated Sir is going to be the last man alive for TDK. Is he going to be able to take him down? And yes, he is. Gyro has been taken down by him, and now Rated Sir is holding that compound all by himself, and he did quite an incredible job.
But it's quite surprising, to be honest, as Plot Legion go for such an amateur decision in this close range circles. You know, they've gone for a 2-2 split, not being able to provide cover fire to each other. You know, that sort of might just be the case of demise, but Leo still putting up a fight. Can he get down towards B1? Can he get that rest back up? Because Gyro, he's of course lost his life. It all comes down to Leo and Dominic. It's going to be such a tough task. Now, considering they're in the center, they're going to be contested by a lot of people. But what on earth was Dominic even doing over there?
That's a quite questionable peek coming in from the side of Dominic. I mean, I do know he was trying to just get that info out, but he should know that he's actually exposing his head in that position, and you're not supposed to be there at that point in time, because there are definitely going to be a lot of teams, and you need to expect danger from all across the sides. Venom Legends, again, they have found themselves in quite a critical situation over here. STALWARTxFLEX is the team that is in the front lines. 7C Turulov is there in the right lines as well. I don't really know if Turulov should actually be pretty confident, pretty aggressive on this kind of a challenge or this kind of a fight. I really feel like at this point in time, Turulov should hold his horses.
He has to. But still, you know, he's going on the aggressive side and has done quite some damage onto Wit's mom too. And, well, just want to see if Joker has really read his position. But no, Joker has got to deal with his own troubles, because shots are being fired from elsewhere on towards him. But Refuse and STALWARTxFLEX, my goodness, the way these lads are playing, that nade coming right onto his Joker. Steel shot is going to make no mistake in getting that knock secured. But can he get the confirmation over there? That's the big question. But look at Trulov's position, finally taking a few shots onto its Crypto, but Crypto somehow manages to survive.
Now this is really bad for Trulov as he's exposed his position out, and this is where STALWARTxFLEX will capitalize onto it. Turulov taking a little bit of damage with that nade, but finally back into safety, but not really safe enough because STALWARTxFLEX is right in the front line. Venom Legends is pushing it as well. There's a lot of fights happening inside over here. Venom Legends already getting one casualty on their name, and this is where they have found themselves in a bit of pickle. STALWARTxFLEX are just ramming them down, and yes, they will be taking them down. The last member of Venom Legends has fallen down. It's going to be Frypan, and STALWARTxFLEX doing an incredible job up till now inside the game. They don't even have a single casualty on their name.
Or maybe they are getting, yeah, and they're getting lots of kills to their name.
Yeah.
And Blade, he's pretty much very low on his HP, gonna get taken down, but Trinda did make sure that he did manage to knock out True Love. So now with Crypto falling off, this is where 7C might consider going in for the push. That nade would have been really, really devastating, but had it not ricocheted. But 7C finally going in for the push, going in for the kill. Memo does get another knock onto it. Strinda would go in and get those kills secured for themselves. Now 7C, 10 kills already for this squad, and they are even hungry for more. Can they get a lot more? Can they get more than 10? Can they get 15? Can they get 20? That's the big question. But what really now is the fact that 7C, with all 4 of their players alive, are doing absolutely amazing.
They smell that blood and they want that blood. As Review is going to be the last man alive, trying to nade the last man surviving from high voltage, and doesn't seem like it's going to be that easy because it's Assassin, the brilliant man, the incredible man, is still alive from that team. And Reviews, using your utilities like that in those late game situations is not really a good thing. You should hold onto it until the circle is pretty small, and then maybe you should use your utilities on stuff like those. 7C again, the dominating one inside this entire competition, but Futurestation still alive, still looking good. They have all their players alive, and we do know fixes as well in the Pro Scrims. Machine has came up with some incredible clutches, and I'm expecting the same performance today.
Well, he certainly can. And, this is what I was talking about, right? The old guards finally returning, and Future Station have been doing pretty well. But I'm rather surprised as to how has Dominic really managed to survive. I mean, Leo had to be the saving grace, isn't it? But
Yeah.
right now, P and crew, of course, having the church area, they need to get inside the circle. But I really love the spread coming out from the boys from 7C. Now, they've got three compounds. Are they inside the circle, though? Still on the periphery, still on the edges over there. They need to get in. But before that, look at Future Station. They are looking so very good. Not a lot of kills though, but it's still fine. I mean, as long as you're getting chicken dinner, I'm not gonna complain.
Definitely. Chicken dinner is the main goal over here. And to get to that, it's going to be quite a tough task. And as you did talk about Leo being a saving grace of the team, and as I also like to talk in the past as well, Leo is probably one of the best support inside the Bangladeshi region that they have to offer. And Leo does a pretty good job at that. Incredible spray. Turulov has some eagle eyes, spotting him out. Not going to be wasting a second within a blink of an eye, just beaming him out the game. And that's going to be him. Sandesh, though, retaliating back in style on the players of Future Station. Already have two players knocked out, Evil Eye being the one as well, Machine being another one. Now QWERTY has been spotted out. One thing I really want to talk about QWERTY is his map awareness is on point.
I mean, it is indeed, but dropping off that smoke, keeping away his position. I do not know whether it's going to help his cause or not. But 7C, either ways, they are playing a fantastic game. Already 11 kills, but who's got even more than them? And that's going to be STALWARTxFLEX if, Reviews is still alive. And yes, he is still kicking. And he's managed to take down Leo in the process. Can he get the last one? No is going to be the answer. He's finally been taken down as we are reduced to just our final 4 teams surviving. Now Rig exactly knows where Dominic is. Can he get him? Because there has to be one moment he comes out of his cover, or maybe he could just go for a healing battle. Anything is possible. But who do you think, Necro, is going to take the victory over here?
It's going to be quite a tough decision because Future Station have all their players alive. Machine is barely alive on his HP. He's just down to 5 HP. Dominic is still alive, and I'm pretty sure at this point in time he has been spotted. Kopshi throwing that nade in his direction. It doesn't seem like it's going to be making it in time, overcooking it a little bit. And take a look at this aggressive state being shown from the side of 7C. They do know, they smell the blood of PN crew, and that's going to be QWERTY as well, taken down and dusted. They do know now it's just Future Station who is going to be the dominating one. They have spotted them out. They do know they're inside that compound, spraying a little bit of bullet. Doesn't seem like any of them will be connecting. Dominic is there, still alive. The last man alive for XB Blood Legion, but for how long? And he will be taken down by the play zone.
And yes, but I absolutely love the positioning coming away from Rig over here, having that high ground, but not anymore. This is where the stars are going to be shrinking for 7C. Things are going to get a lot more difficult. They do not really have the numbers advantage. Now being pinned away from the circle, it's going to be Bad Rev who gets that knock with the Grotza, but in turn gets traded off by Rig. Now things have started getting really interesting in this 2v3 situation. Can 7C make it out alive? But it's going to be Kopshi who's not going to let that happen as he's managed to take down Rig in the process. Now it is going to be a 1v3 situation. It's all up to Turulov. What is this lad up to? Can he pull this one off?
Turulov, again, a man of patience, a man of determination. We do know we have seen Turulov in the past as well. Sometimes do pretty good. He's taking a lot of damage from the zone, though. He's barely on the edge. He does realize if he's making any sound, his position will be given away. It seems like Future Station are real aware of his position. And yes, the final man has fallen down, and that's going to be Future Station. And with an incredible performance, 1 kill for each player. I mean, well-distributed stats,
Well distributed, of course, but yeah, fine, you've got the chicken, but look at 7C.
Yep.
Well, you're talking about good distribution of kills. Take a look at them, man. 4-3-3-3. You've got almost around 13 kills for your team. But who's even better? It's gonna be STALWARTxFLEX. And
Yeah,
if I'm talking about that one team, you've got to mention that one player. That's gonna be Refuse. 8 freaking kills for this lad himself, all by his lonesome. He's a monster, and we've seen this player just coming out lately, right? During the
yep.
PMPL, he's just got started. Now, once he's settling down, now he is going big. Now, again, this has to be one of the players that we have to keep our eyes out on. But apart from that, a very, very good start to the day. And Futurestation, Gremlin Storm, they needed this victory, right? Considering how they've been playing in the past, considering, they've been struggling a lot. Now, finally getting back to the winning ways, this is definitely going to bolster their morals up. And I think eventually, when you have the next few games coming in, they can actually go in for those kills.
They can definitely go in for these skills. But I really want to see those match rankings, though, Fixes, because I feel like even though they got the chicken dinner, 7C is
Yeah.
still toppling them over. To be honest, I really feel like they are still toppling them over. But one more team that have quite disappointed me is going to be Team QWERTY. We did expect some incredible performance from their side, but unfortunate.
I mean, it's unfortunate, but we still have Miramar, right? Their
Yeah.
best map. So I'm gonna, rule things down to its Miramar, and it's of course coming up pretty soon. But other than that, I really liked how 7C overall as a team really played in this one, right? Their teamwork, everything was on point. The way they were positioning, had the circle not really gone away from Rick, I really loved the cover he had. The rooftop where he had it was a slanty area. He could have just peeked out and maybe taken down 2 players, or maybe just thrown a few grenades. Only if the circle had favored 7C, the chicken dinner was pretty much this. But then again, there's another team that you cannot ignore. That's going to be XB Blood Legion. Now, this is a team that did commit quite some mistakes over there, because I really felt, having that 2-2 split in compounds as such was definitely not a wise idea. They should have been in nearby vicinity enough that they can, come back for the cover fire, but they were absolutely not there. But despite the fact, getting the third spot is not too shabby either.
Exactly. I mean, getting that third spot is not too shabby either. They were doing quite good, even in the kill department as well. And Blood Legion is a team that has been quite aggressive since the PMCO. But this time we saw quite a passive step being taken from their side, and seems like they have learned quite a lot from the PMPL experience that they've gone. And now take a look at the match ranking, and this is exactly what I was saying. 7C toppled them over, then STALWARTxFLEX as well with just 6 placement points, and they have 16 kill points. That's an absolute incredible stats in itself. And I'm pretty sure STALWARTxFLEX are going to be happy after taking a look at these match rankings, because they have single-handedly gotten themselves a second position with just those kill points. And this is what I like to see. Even though Futurestation in that third spot getting 15 points as placement points with that chicken dinner, with 4 kills, getting 19 points only in total.
I mean, this is preposterous. STALWARTxFLEX, stop doing this to teams. They were absolutely bullying the
Yeah.
entire lobby. 16 kills coming out and 8 for reviews. That is how good this lad has been. And moving on, of course, a few teams haven't really been able to show up, and from them, of course, the big names are going to be A1 Esports, 1952 QWERTY, and you've got even DRS. So I would really, really like if these players really pick up the pace, because it's going to be important. Now we do have Miramar coming in, so they can of course try and go for maybe a chicken.
They can definitely try and go for a chicken. I mean, again, stuff is not going to be that easy, okay? Especially when
Yeah,
we
definitely
have
not.
teams like TDK. Again, I really feel like in this game TDK got quite unlucky with the rotations. They ran in straight their vehicle inside the compound of Blood Legion. I mean, they did take quite a lot of beating from their side as well, but some quite questionable moves were being made from the side of Blood Legion as well, and this is what caused their demise, especially that 1P coming out from the side of Dominic as well. And
Yeah.
then Gyro decided to drop out from that window, and this is where he got caught off guard as well. And I really feel like holding your horses in situation like those, staying safe, maybe sometimes will help you out.
Yes, of course, and I think we've seen that tinge of maturity coming in the players because, like you mentioned, during the PMCOs, they were quite aggressive. They were those kids that were doing really well, but eventually they've sort of toned things down, and things are even gonna get more interesting after this because right now, ladies and gentlemen, we are gonna be going for a short little break because coming right after is gonna be the second map of the evening. Hello and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. You are watching the PUBG Mobile South Asia Pro Scrims 2021, brought to you by Nodwin Gaming. My name is, of course, Fix is joined along with the second panda bro we have in town. That's going to be Necro. And apparently, in the first game, we did see Futurestation Gremlin Storm coming out on top. But I've been hearing some rumors. I think the squad has been released. I think it's Kremlin Storm right now, if my memory serves me right. But considering the fact that they've gotten a chicken dinner, I mean, now maybe the owners of which station must be wondering, why did we let them go?
Well, I mean, they're going to be quite disappointed after watching this game. They're like, probably be like, oh no, we should not have let them go. Maybe we should have just,
Should have held on.
thought a little bit, should have held on. Maybe we should not have been so quick on taking our decisions, and we should not have let them go. I mean, the way they played in the previous game, it was quite strategical, and this is what
Yeah,
exactly I was saying. I want to see the IGLing on point. I want to see the rotations going in
right.
on point, and this is exactly what Futurestation did. They got in themselves one of the best position inside Pachinki, and in the end as well, till the end, they were the zone magnets. They were attracting the zone on themselves. They got the zone, and in the end circle, they had the most ground, the most area secured, and this is where the last team, 7C, couldn't really do much.
Yeah, of course. I mean, the way these teams have been playing, yeah, of course, Future Station, Kremlin Storm did walk off with the chicken, but you've got to give it to the lads of 7C, man. The way this team has been improving, right? I think somewhere down the line, they're very underrated. I must say is the right word for it,
Sure.
because right before this PMPL, right, even started, nobody considered them to be one of the best teams because with their best players, Hungry Box, apparently just left and joined Deadeyes, which is a very smart decision. But then again, they built themselves up right from the scratch, and throughout the PMPL is where they were nurturing themselves and to be one of the most explosive squads. And qualifying up to the championship finals, they've been doing so amazing, and with every single player really contributing and finally getting their oomph up. I think this is where we start taking this team very seriously, considering considering them amongst the stalwarts of their region in Nepal.
Exactly. I mean, 7C has came a long way through fixes, and they have been doing absolutely incredible since the PMPL as well. As you did say, we did not really expect them to show up on top, give a equal competition to these top dogs, but they did. They actually showed themselves up. Especially they did get some new players added in inside their roster as well, and this is what has been helping them out a lot. And I really want to see the same thing going in inside 1952 as well. PMPL, they
Yeah.
did quite great. Let's be honest, in the final days, they did quite great as well. But then 1952, somewhere down line, something is missing. Something is missing. That best touch up maybe is missing. And I really feel like a little bit of finding, a little bit of searching might just find it.
I think the answer is going to be pretty obvious. You would want Entry to be playing out of his mind, right? Because
Yeah.
of course, let's be honest, he was the top fragger from that team. But yeah, like you mentioned, you would of course want 1952 to make a comeback, and it's just a start. But then again, we just have 6 games to decide who's going to be the winner, right? Not a lot in hand. You might there's always tomorrow fixes. We are gonna make a comeback tomorrow. That's not gonna work over here because it's just 5 more games remaining, and amongst that you've got 2 Sanhoks, right? We've got a Sanhok incoming, and Sanhok, as you know, is quite unpredictable. But then again, amidst the unpredictability, I'm gonna ask you for your prediction. Who do you think is gonna win?
I feel like STALWARTxFLEX this time.
Oh,
STALWARTxFLEX. Now, you did say about the unpredictability and stuff like that being, more kind of like fast-paced. But since the
yeah,
PMPL, we have seen a different approach we have seen Sanhok being taken quite tactically. The
Right.
way these guys have been rotating, especially high voltage, they like to rotate all the way from the top on the right side. If the circle is on the right side of the map, they like to rotate all the way from the top side. And we have seen some incredible rotation as well, especially from a squad like P and Crew. Now, this kind of tactical approach also sometimes leads down to Sanhok being one of the most map where it is actually being so tactically taken that fights do happen in those late circles.
I somewhere kind of have a different opinion. I believe this map is way too situational, right? Uh, like the words go. If you have the circle, if the circle comes down to where you drop, or maybe somewhere nearby, if you take the center of it and you have a good compound, a good cover to just hold on, I think you can pretty much be the winners. Now you've been talking about high voltage, right? Uh, we've seen in the past, the history is a testament of it. We've seen if the circle is towards the western side, it's going to be high voltage one and PN Crew. Again, one of those bigger contenders because they kind of like to go towards that area. But one good news is that we do not have Team Zeus in the lobby. Thank God. Otherwise, you know what mean killer machines they are, right? But here we have the flight path trajectory already heading all the way from Sami towards Hatin. And does it really matter though where the flight path goes from?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Sanhok is a small map. You can elongate your parachute wherever you want. You can pretty much go from one corner to the other corner without any trouble. As you did mention, Zeus is not in the lobby, so all these teams are pretty lucky because they are the high school bullies, and we have seen in the past as well. Wow, what an incredible! I mean, I cannot forget some of the best moments shown from the side of Zeus and that incredible domination all the time in each and every single map, especially relying heavily on those kill points. Zeus is of course going to be the team that does that. But this time, kind of a change in the drop plan over here. Fixes. We are seeing P
Okay.
and Crew dropping on the northern side of the left side. And this is quite an interesting drop because mostly we see them dropping next to Painan in those compounds, but now this time they have chosen kind of a northern drop.
Yeah, I think they're just kind of trying to change things around here and there just a little bit, and maybe like then again you're just coming down to the fact that these are scrimmages, right? These are scrims.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
where you're gonna practice some new strats out, and what better way to do that? And yeah, I completely respect the decision made by the players of PN Crew, but finally we get to see the players of QWERTY over here, and we've got Destroyer, Khan, Voltrox, and Zedan coming in. Now, last match, if my memory serves me right, it was Rahman, and
Yeah. Yeah.
now he's just not there. And I do not know if it's really a wise decision having him benched out, sit this one out, because you would want your, a best player to be playing in. Because if you don't do that, if you do not really get those points, I mean, you are looking to just give away your throne towards the players of STALWARTxFLEX. In particular, I'm talking about Crypto and Reviews, the way they started off in the first game.
I really feel like at this point they are just testing the waters out. Maybe they want to switch him out and try someone new in and try someone in and maybe just see how the dice is rolling because in the previous game them winning the odds were pretty low. And now maybe in this game, if with these changes, if they win this game, if they win this match, then I'm pretty sure they are going to be sticking with the same roster for the rest of the day.
Well, they might want to. But have we have the boys coming in from Regicide? It's going to be Nocto with Zane, Joker, and Mom 2. Quite an interesting name over there. They've gone in for a split, and I really like how Insane has opted for the Vector, right? Currently, I mean, if you're talking about the Chinese meta, we are witnessing a lot of AMP being used over there, and there's a reason. It's kind of buffed over there. I think we still yet to witness a patch update in which they actually buff that gun up, and it does need it. The kind of hip fire accuracy it provides, I've seen Chinese teams absolutely just moving down, melting down squads, and you kind of start pondering, how has this weapon gotten so good?
Well, I mean, we are still yet to see that buff coming in, but I really want to see actually back in action because Sometimes, back in the days, used to be good, but now because of that nerf hammer, it's being quite ignored since the past as well. But now a team pushing in against the players of DRS, Galson kind of stuck inside that little hut and finally opening things up. He's already found himself the opening. It's going to be R3D this time, find themselves in quite a tricky spot, but Galson getting caught off guard and taken down. And this is where he got outnumbered, outmaneuvered by the men, and R3D came out on top in that fight. But still, Galson did quite an incredible job holding the little hut down, and he did quite a lot of damage.
Yep, but Yalton almost just managed to secure the second knock. For a moment, I really thought that R3D might have committed a mistake, but it was fine the way they approached, the way they opened the doors up. But DRS, are they wary about A1 Esports' presence over here? Yes, seems like they have managed to spot them down. And with Mafia Ninja and Carlton already out of the picture, now things are not looking really good for this team. But AJ, somehow he's managed to find that knock onto it 6-9. Now Dante will definitely go for that smoke, build up that smoking path. But can he find the right angle? Can he find the right angle to just go in and stick the revive? Because Kangaroo, I believe, which is RX Shax in this equation, he's trying to just push head on. This is where I would have wanted to see him going in from the right hand side, not make a lot of noises, go for the flank. But I think they've already deployed another player to do that, and that's going to be Sinister, I believe.
Seems like his main goal was over here to secure this hut. He does know that it's one of the best covers that you can ask for. Dante opening the fray up, already getting himself a knock on Nima. And it seems like DRS are in a whole other trouble, and this time falling apart early. DRS has been taken down and dusted by the players of A1 Esports. An incredible way to challenge a fight against the big mammoth.
I mean, well, they are PMPL champions, aren't they?
Yeah.
And just wiped out. But again,
Exactly.
we have to come down to that one thing, right? It's the scrims. But the trouble is not yet over, because Sinister apparently has been taken down by the players of R3D. Now that's an interesting fight that's happening elsewhere. I really want to see as to what happens over there. But right from the very start, of that particular fight, it was already a 2v4 situation. They were just behind that one rock where Sinister did get that room enough, try and go for that flank, did find an open shot and did take it down. And DRS, few mistakes here and there, the biggest one being segregated from their teammates. But 7C and Futurestation, they are engaging in quite some interesting fights.
They will be engaging. I mean, again, map of Sanhok, smaller one. And we do know, especially when the circle is shrinking down to its lowest, fights do happen quite a lot when the rotations are being made. And up till now, we are seeing quite a lot of early rotations being made from a lot of teams. R3D was the one who actually did take down the first member of DRS, and this is where they got kind of crippled. This is where they got kind of paralyzed. And A1 Esports were there in the back lines to actually take the advantage to its finest. But now R3D, it seems like they have finally gotten their fourth player back in the game, and I really feel like that is going to be helping them out quite a lot inside this map, inside this match, and I really feel like they are going to be a competition to the top dogs.
R3D. Well, this has been one of those teams that, even in the past, they did play the PMPL. They were not really that big back then. But the kind of a graph that you would expect from this team, should be bigger, because I really have bigger expectations. I know these players have got what it takes. It all does come down to the fact that they are yet to unleash themselves. Now, STALWARTxFLEX, you talk about beasts, you talk about monsters. How can you rule this particular team out? And when reviews just came in this roster, I was kind of skeptical as to who's this lad. He's new in the scene. Is this a good decision? The way he performed in the last game suddenly, just gave me all my answers. 8 kills is definitely not a joke in this lobby.
Yep, 8 kills is definitely not a joke, especially As you did mention, it's more kind of like Scrim. So we do expect some teams, going offense, using some strategies that you do not expect, and reviews reading them out like a book and getting those kills while they're trying to rotate out. It's just an absolutely incredible way. And it seems like Khan this time from QWERTY did make a little bit of noise. And he does know 7C is on the hilltop, doesn't want to step out, doesn't want to give his position away, because he does know if he gives his position away, he's going to get held down behind that rock, and somewhere down line as time passes, as the clock ticks by, he is going to get pushed in. From the back lines, they're trying their best to provide the cover as well, but Khan is stuck all out in the open.
The second airdrop coming in, the M249, but we yet to see the circle being formed, and it's sort of taken that eastern shift. Now, this is where the trouble in paradise really begins, right? You've got Deadeyes, you've got high voltage. You've got to see as to what route they're opting for. I mean, either ways, both of them are pretty much stacked up. They have, been taken over by different teams the moment you try to cross the bridge. What could be a more apt approach is try to go from the southern side, because or maybe northern. I mean, both the ways. I really felt that someone would be at the northern side, but no, that's up for grabs, and there's no team over there. Usually, you would anticipate Venom Legends being present, but seems like they've opted for a rather slow one. But majority of the traffic is already on towards the southern side of the circle, so going to the northern side is definitely going to be a good approach to this particular circle.
It's definitely going to be a good approach. But again, we cannot be judging things. It seems like a lot of teams have stacked themselves up quite in the center. Some of them are lucky enough to get themselves a center circle. But no, this time it seems like Team QWERTY again in a heap of trouble, found themselves in quite an unfortunate spot as God's Reborn punishing them out for stepping out in the open. And of course, that's kind of a rookie mistake being made from the side of Team QWERTY. They should have watched out for those hills. And this is where God's Reborn got their finest advantage in that situation and took one player down. Team QWERTY is now down to just a 3-man squad, and maybe God's Reborn will outnumber them.
I mean, they certainly can. It is definitely a possibility over here, but if we take a look at how things are right now, well, Team QWERTY being sort of overlooked by the players of God's Reborn, who've managed to secure 1 kill, but I'm pretty sure they would want to secure a few more. Now, this is one of the teams that could not make it to the PMPL, but last week in the scrims, they were absolutely phenomenal, and totally understood as to why they were, I think, in the top 5, if my memory serves me right. Now, coming into the finals, they're definitely one of those big contenders for the top 3 prize pool that we have. But for that they have to start big right now. It's still the second game. If they get a chicken over here, then that's some good signs coming in. But finally, they are opting for the push. Let's see what really happens.
Again, pushing it in the compound where Team QWERTY is. Satan kind of separated out from the rest of the pack, and this is where he gets caught off guard as well. God's Reborn did not expect that incredible call of fire from Destroyer. And again, Destroyer is just punishing them back and forth as Zayden has realized on the position. And now Sketch is kind of in trouble. He's found himself out in the open, kind of close to the compound as well. Sketch needs to make sure his teammates are coming back to him, that smokes are being built next to him, because there is a little gap in between of that house in the bottom side. And this is where Destroyer is actually punishing him as well. That nade was so damaging, almost catching you off guard. Sketch is barely alive on his knees, but take a look at that flank being made from the side of Khan. And this is where it might be it. This is where Sketch might be wrapped up.
Yeah, he certainly can. And there you go, Khan, the IGL, the best from Pakistan, making no mistake in getting that knock secured, and would of course want Yashiro's kill as well. Now, this sort of gets me to ponder and rather wonder as to why God's Reborn would go for such a push. I mean, Well, of course, they were not inside the circle, but they could have been more patient, I believe, right?
Yeah.
Before taking in a knock, before getting a player knocked out, there is no reason why you would have to push over there. And considering the fact that you're dropping a lot of smokes, you're basically giving uh, your will away, right? Your intention clear to the enemies. I mean, Team F4 kind of just melted from afar. They knew that someone is definitely trying to go in for the push, and Destroyer really capitalized on getting that initial knock over there.
C-Vine out in the open, kind of waiting for his prey to just walk right in front of his eyes. But Stalwart is the team that is in his front line, and we do know it's not going to be that easy to take him down. So C-Vine does know he needs to wait it out, maybe wait for the right opportunity, right moment to strike. And here we go, Sharp already opening things up on Crypto. Crypto seems like today he's not really having the day of his life. He has been quite unlucky inside this entire day today. 1952, an incredible push coming in from their side as well. But C-Vine's position is still anonymous. He has not been spotted, and his position is going to be quite a MVP spot if he stays anonymous over and over again. And if he does not get spotted, STALWARTxFLEX might be in a bit of trouble. Crypto back on his feet, though. This is where he might be punishing him out. Sharp getting spotted out by Crypto, and yes, he's not going to be missing that one as Crypto retaliating back in style, taking Sharp down, and that's going to be revenge.
Well, that will definitely be, but right now, STALWARTxFLEX, they're gonna enjoy themselves as they've managed to secure their first squad. And, it's just another day in the office for these lads. They make it look so easy, and of course, we'll
Yeah.
be getting that revive onto his refuse. I really loved how they approached this entire fight, so well positioned, so well placed. And the boys from 952 had no other option but just to die.
Exactly. Taking a look at the way STALWARTxFLEX have been playing, I really feel like Pakistani region have found themselves a gem that they should not be losing any time in future. And this is where STALWARTxFLEX played again. He's been doing quite incredible. Blade is been doing quite incredible. He's fitting quite good inside the roster. And we haven't seen in the past as well, Blade, putting up some incredible performances, some iconic moments from his side as well. But Crypto, we just cannot never forget that man. But for now, 7C, pretty close to the players of Avon Esports. And you need to watch out from a squad like Avon Esports because they are going to be giving you a head-to-head tough competition.
Yep. Now, this is one of the fights that I would absolutely love to witness. 7C going up against A1 Esports. Again, it's, the Nepal region going up against the Bangladesh region. And, when they do, it gets really spicy and sometimes salty. But we do love that, don't we? And
Mhm.
now, considering the fact that Rig has already been taken out from the equation, it's going to make things a bit tough for 7C because the kind of a room for movement that they love to have, they're not going to get that this time. But Memo, I believe, might have been heard. Now, Dante having his crosshair in that direction, well, we do know what's coming.
The calm before the storm, as we like to call it. And this is where 7C have sensed the presence of Avon Esports as well. Memo playing it out quite safe. This time, crouching it out. Dante, maybe a little glimpse, a little spot is going to be enough for Dante. He has spotted him out. Memo, yes, he will be taken down without any trouble. Dante finishing the kill out as well. 7C spotting out the entire squad of Avon Esports this time. They have realized that they are on the hilltop. They have the high ground as well. And 7C should play it out as safe as possible. An incredible eagle-eye spot there by Turu Love.
Yep, he did. But, right now, 7C are definitely not enjoying themselves because, well, let's be honest, the kind of a situation they are in, it's so difficult to, get out of it because considering you have so many teams just holding on towards the edges, you've got A1 Esports who you have to really worry about right now. But Dante, rather going on the aggressive. No reason why he has to do that. This might just bite them back in the later half of the game. But heading on towards those, those closing phases. Now, considering A1 Esports have lost out on Sinister but still have 4 kills, it's going to be really interesting to see what really happens. But R3D already in a bit of a kerfuffle over there with Walker already down, and Virus trying to get the res up on his players. And yes, finally, all right, he's the one who gets the res up. And now Walker will, of course, expect a revive from his teammates. But as things are right now, T2K, they're enjoying themselves, and so are the players of Blood Legion.
They will be definitely enjoying themselves. TDK, I mean, a team that we do know is a big team from the Nepal region. A1 Esports this time now opening things up again on the players of 7C. It seems like they're not going to let them go that easily. They are hungry. They are thirsty for that blood. And this is where Futurestation also has Team QWERTY locked down in their sights. Spotting one player out, Khan almost would have taken a little bit of damage if he kept on peeking the same angle over and over again. Badriff did have his sights locked onto him, and the opening kill has already been found on their side. But this time it's going to be A1 Esports backstabbing them.
Definitely, it's going to be A1 coming in, and that was sort of expected, right? But P and Crew going after Futurestation now, that is something that I did not really see coming. But either way, the kill feed is definitely dancing. So many fights happening left, right, and center. It's so difficult to keep a track on towards them. But Crypto, this man definitely will not stop as he's gone for another kill. But Badref, can he just stop the players of Team QWERTY and A1 Esports at bay? Now, that's going to be 7C over there in the far off lines. True love. But taking a look at how the zone has really shifted, he's just looking at R3D that's inside the zone. But now Gremlin Storm have to deal with the entirety of PN Crew as they have made sure that they want to continue with the push. Now, can Capshi survive this? The nades being popped out, and not a lot of damages though, but Evil Eye will definitely get knocked by R3D from the back lines.
He did get knocked out. Quite unfortunate stuff. Futurestation now, they do know there's one team inside the compounds, R3D being the one. And now they're again down to a three-man roster, three-man squad. Did have a four-man coming inside the game, but now down to just a three-man again, so it's pretty much a recap of the previous game for them. True love, unfortunate death with that play zone, quite unfortunate stuff. But Futurestation, again, it seems like they are going to be quite unstoppable with those kind of killing spree going in from their side as well. PN Crew spotting out the players. They are waiting for the right opportunity, the right moment. A little peek is going to be enough for them to get the advantage onto them and take them down. Killer YT peeked out a little glimpse was given, and he did take a little bit of damage in that.
Oh, indeed he did. But right now, it's going to be PN Crew that has that mission to just try and march in. You've got Regicide just watching them off. But Deadeyes, finally they get themselves visible. I haven't really seen them, but Killer spots out Kapshi, will take him down, and this time we're not going to have a back-to-back chicken. But either ways, PN Crew go down as well, because it's going to be the boys from R3D who are going to be sealing the deal. But from the backlines, we do have the players of QWERTY, Radha Khan himself, who is doing so much damage, and R3D, they are falling down one after the other.
Quite unfortunate stuff from their side. Khan, as you did mention, doing quite a lot of work. Down to just 1 HP. This is the right opportunity to actually push against Khan. And yes, the push was being made. Khan has been taken down, but blah, 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 though. The kill has been stolen by the players of TDK. And I'm pretty sure R3 lost out on that food for themselves. And instead, TDK got the right time, the right opportunity, and that eagle eye is going to be favoring them as well. Take a look at Utsarka inside the watchtower. Does have that little bit of high ground for himself. That's going to be helping out him out quite a lot to spot a lot of enemies. And TDK, up till now, are doing pretty good, dominating the late game circle as well. But Venom Legends is going to be the team that is trying to challenge them, that is trying to dominate them in their own houses. But is TDK going to let that happen?
Well, I mean, this is quite an unusual setup that we are getting to witness coming in from the boys from Venom Legends, you know. They've got enemies right under them. like quite literally. Now, they've not been making a lot of noise. Now, finally, T2K giving away the position. It's going to be Utsaga who's going to open things up with that knock onto its Ruffet. Now, the revival definitely has to come in, but a few good grenades might just do the job for the players from T2K. Now, Jane being out of the equation, blah, 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 needs to go in for a revive. And Utsaga being so far out, it's going to be such a tough task for T2K to just come in and try to revive their teammates up, get back into the game, get some kills here and there. So let's see as to what really happens, because otherwise we are witnessing so many different things happening over in the lobby with just 4 teams remaining. Which is that one team that's gonna walk off with the chicken in this one, Necro?
It's going to be quite a tough choice. An incredible spotting skill by Frypan, and he's going to be taking him down with that incredible M4 4x spray. A little glimpse, a little peek is going to be enough. He's like, don't not peek me or else I will cut your head off with my bullets. But again, rated sir with that incredible nade doing a little damage to Steel Shot, not enough to take him down though. The next nade may be quite damaging. He's just barraging the nades inside the house. He does know they're just camping inside the house. The entire squad of Venom Legends is there. But up till now, Reddit sir haven't really found himself quite the success he's looking for. Steel Shot still alive, Prophet still alive, and Nightwing finally back on his feet though. But blah 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 is going to be the man to get the knock again onto him with that incredible nade. Reddit sir has realized they're still inside. That nade is going to be so damaging, and yes, both of them has been taken down. Now it's just down to that one last man surviving. But for how long? Steel Shot, he needs to hold on. He needs to hold on. He needs to hold his horses right inside that house, but no. That is going to be impossible because TDK is just way too aggressive in those late game circles.
But look at our Regicide over here. Insane having been taken down. It's going to be blah, blah, blah. That's going to trade it off. But it's all going to come down to Mom2, who apparently does manage to find a 2K. But that's just about it. That one good grenade, taking down 2 players in the process. But he will get finished off. And this is where the numbers advantage did help the players of T2K to clinch this one home. They've been smart, they've been clinical with their finish, and those nades, those beautiful, beautiful bombardment coming in from every single player, right from blah 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 to Utsaga. The way they executed that, you know, taking down Venom Legends, that I really love how Regicide just came out of nowhere and you know, to take down 3 players. I mean, had T2K dealt with a casualty, this chicken dinner might have just slipped away from their hands.
For sure, this chicken dinner could have just slipped away from their hands. I mean, Mom2 did quite an incredible job in that end fight, though. We have to give him the credit. He wasn't really able to find that final kill on his name, and quite unfortunate stuff. But TDK, again, proving their ground. As I did mention, they did get quite unfortunate in the previous game, but again, this game, they proved their grounds with that tactical gameplay, and the way they waited against the players of Venom Legends till the zone was closing. And then Steel Shot was just the last man alive in that little corner. What can he do?
What can he do? That's the question over there. And you know, yeah, at that point, yeah, it was pretty much done, right? All he could have done over there is just try to go for the healing battle. But you know, considering how T2K really were, they would not have given him that room and space. But what I'm really interested, I really want to see a recap of that last fight. You know, the one between Team R3G and Team T2K really break out. I want to see those nades coming in, because I could just see it in the kill feed, man. And that too after the game was over, right? I would have loved to see as to what really happened over there, because now Mom2, he's the thing. He did perform really well in the last game. He at least tried, and this game he's coming in. So I think this is one player that this team has been kind of in the search for. And I think we might just be kind of stepping on the gun to really come into a judgment so quickly. But Mom2 is definitely one of the players that we need to watch out for.
For sure, we do need to watch out for that player. But again, I also want to point one thing out, is that those 2 kills or those 2 frags were, I mean, pretty good. I mean, they were well executed, but he only had 2 kills in that entire game.
Yeah.
I mean, only if he would have been able to finish those kills, then maybe he would have had 4 kills for himself. But I mean, there was one more player in that same team who had 3 kills on his name, so we need to give him the credit as well.
Yeah, of course. I mean, well, these lads really held on to themselves, and R3G, they've not really been too flashy, right? And this was
Yeah.
quite an unusual Sanhok, to be honest, because majority of the fights did happen in those latter phases, and we did not really get to see a lot of them. Come on,
For
we were just witnessing those teams being annihilated on the kill feed. Barely got to see any fights, but either ways, I mean. I really liked few teams over here. I really liked how R3D played. I really liked the resilience shown from Khan towards the very end because he knew that he was a lost cause. But despite that fact, he played so well. But taking a look at the match rankings, of course, Train to Kill back to the winning ways, 26 points from this game.
26 points from this game, incredible plays. With 11 kills on their name, this is what exactly I was saying. 20 Kill is a team that doesn't really like to cause havoc in the starting game, in the starting fights, or in the starting games, or in the starting circles, as I would like to call it. They don't really like to challenge a lot of fights, but in those late circles is where they actually do really shine if they're still alive. R3G and R3D right below each other did quite an incredible job. Second and third place on their name. Futurestation this game and even Esports this game, and even teams like PN Crew and Blood Legion. Unfortunate stuff. And 7C as well. I mean, what exactly happened inside the map of Sanhok? You guys got pincered down early off.
I mean, right now, considering how things are going, I mean, I really liked how A1 Esports kind of started things off. But this is where also, they made a few mistakes. They were too late to get themselves inside the circle. But here we have, I mean, the overall rankings coming in front of our screens over here. T2K taking that first spot, 30 points is what they are holding on to. But STALWARTxFLEX, they're not far behind, and can really work on their placement points a bit. I know these lads want to just wipe out the entire lobby, but if they kind of sort of focus on that, then I think they're good to go for the next few games. But moving on to the second half, things are definitely not looking good over here for the for the Bangladeshi teams, as we
Yeah.
do see 1952 at the very bottom. They yet to open up their score sheet.
Exactly, and even team like DRS, I mean, what exactly happened there? DRS, we did not expect you guys to be on those bottom, be on the second chart of the leaderboards. We expect you on the top, and DRS, we do expect a better performance up till now from what you guys have been showing, and I'm pretty sure maybe later on, maybe you guys would just give us an absolute surprise. You guys would just blow our minds away with the way you guys play, and I'm pretty sure DRS will show themselves on the top charts.
I mean, they certainly might, and they do have the potential. But at the same
Yeah.
time, Deadeyes Guys, I barely have seen them today. I'll not be even lying. I think it was just that one time we spotted one of their players out. That's just about it. They've never made their presence felt today. I do not know if they're not kind of not feeling themselves today, but they've got to wake up because after these two games being done, we just have 4 remaining. So
Yeah.
you cannot slack off anymore. But at the same time, I really want to see even QWERTY making a comeback, because this is Team F4 that we're talking about, and even in the PMPL, we do know that these players are fighters. They're not going to back off without a fight. So maybe tomorrow is where they strike. But before that, we still do have one more map remaining. But right now, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be heading out for a short little break. We'll be right back. You don't go anywhere.
PUBG Mobile, Godzilla vs. Kong. All new collaboration, live now. In the latest version of PUBG Mobile, players may encounter titans during a match, just like in the movies. Let's learn more about the all-new game modes, shall we? Titan Strikes. The Titan Strikes mode introduces 3 titans to Erangel, Sanhok, and Livid. Godzilla and Kong move along designated routes across the map. Players can chase after them in vehicles, but if you get too close, you'll be knocked down and take damage. When Titans get ready to unleash a heat ray, the system will prompt players to leave the red zone marked on the minimap. Players equipped with high-level armor receive reduced damage from the heat ray. Titans will absorb energy which emanates gradually from the earth. Once the energy reaches a certain threshold, Titans release it and create Titan crystals around them. Different types of Titan Crystals provide different effects. Erangel's blue Titan Crystals are special throwable items that players can equip. They knock back and burn enemies who are behind cover. Sanhok's gold Titan Crystals enhance players' abilities, making you run faster and jump higher. Livik's red Titan Crystals give players the ability to detect enemies nearby for a brief period of time. These enhancement items give players an edge in battle. Use them and bring the chicken dinner home. With the help of Titan Crystals, players have even more unique tactics to achieve victory. Godzilla and Kong roam Erangel and Sanhok respectively, and players may bump into them on Spawn Island. Players can preview the Titan's route on the minimap, along with Apex Cybernetics, and low, mid, and high-level monster settlements. Apex Cybernetics are scattered along the Titan's route, which contains many valuable supplies. However, players can only enter the facility after a Titan has destroyed the base. Players that arrive early will not be able to get into the highly fortified Apex camp. At the same time, defeating different monster settlements rewards good supplies. Monster settlements are mainly occupied by lizards and crabs. Players can use a diversion to divide and conquer. The monsters are big, so using a shotgun at close range can deal huge damage. Players must also be wary of the Titan's attacks. Although they're not hostile towards players, they get irritated when there's too many players around. The Titan on Livik has unique electromagnetic abilities that affect the blue zone and cause it to shift every once in a while. Now, players must pay constant attention to the new play zones and transfer immediately when they begin to shrink, as to ensure they're not swallowed by the blue zone. Furthermore, Mechagodzilla periodically scans an area of the safe zone and marks the locations of everyone in the area on the minimap. This urges players to transfer or engage their enemies. Players must be extra careful. The Titan Strikes game mode is based on Battle Royale. Players must strive to be the last one standing amidst battling other players and Titans. With the addition of Titans, players are ready to witness their majesty and get their hands on the mysterious Titan Crystals. Enjoy the all-new Titan Strikes and experience the earth-shattering might of the Titans.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. You are watching the PUBG Mobile South Asia Pro Scripts 2021, and well, of course, it's brought to you by Nodwin Gaming. And here we are into the final game of the evening. That's going to be Miramar. Now, considering what we have seen so far, now we did witness, well, Futurestation Gremlin Storm take the chicken in the first game. Then in the second, we did have T2K getting the second one, right? Now we know what the third map clearly indicates, Necro.
STALWARTxFLEX is left, and I want them to take it.
I mean, STALWARTxFLEX have been doing pretty good, but this is where I really want someone from this bottom half. Maybe let's just assume Team QWERTY. I think Team QWERTY can do it, and we know how dynamic, how explosive this team is in Miramar. And one of the teams is definitely missing out. I think Carnage, they failed to qualify. That was also one of the teams that had been performing really well in this particular map. But let's see as to what happens, because now the fight path trajectory pretty much elbows towards Puerto Paraiso is what we witness. And now this is where we've got to see if we can have some early kerfuffle between the teams. We usually witness A1 Esports going up against STALWARTxFLEX. So that's the fight that we've been seeing since the PMPL itself, and hasn't stopped. But the zone somewhere centered around La Bendita.
Exactly, and maybe there's a higher chance it would shift on Las Leonas, and I really want to see a Las Leonas circle. Of course, a massive city does have a lot of big buildings as well, pretty tall buildings, and we do know sometimes the fight do get crazy with those sniper rifles, and I really want to see some DMR or either some bolt action sniper action, especially inside the map of Miramar. And we do know it does get quite interesting. It does get quite hefty sometimes as well. And now TDK and A1 Esports and STALWARTxFLEX have been locking horns since the PMPL. And since that time, we haven't really seen these three teams fighting against each other, because Las Leon is just such a massive city, and three teams can move in there pretty comfortably. Another fight happening between R3D and God's Reborn this time, was able to secure himself that one knock. Wasn't really able to finish him though. And of course, R3D already down to a three-man squad. Quite unfortunate stuff for them.
Yup, not the kind of a start that they would have wanted for themselves. But God's Reborn will definitely get the revive on their play. But Memo, well, gotta see, does have the gun, does have the bullets. All he needs to do is just try and connect. Can he do that? By the looks of it, he's gotta be very, very, vigilant regarding his surroundings, right? He needs to take care, because one small misstep can probably cost his life.
That's for sure. One wrong step can cost his life. And Memo, for now, I mean, it seems like he's being quite careless. His driving is pretty wicked from the way I'm witnessing over here. And he's having a great time flying that buggy up as well. But now Review's a massive player. We have seen in the past him getting 8 kills in the map of Erangel, and I really want to see him carry the legacy forward in the map of Miramar as well. I want to see some of that incredible performance going inside this game as well. Crypto, it doesn't really seem like he's having the time of his life. He's not really able to show himself up on that kill board though. What do you think so?
I mean, he will give him some time. I mean, cut him some slack already. The first game, he did have, I guess, 6 kills. The second one also he performed really well. I think he did manage to secure 3 kills out of 952. So he's been there. He's been there. I mean, I'm pretty sure after the end of the day, if we have the kill leaderboards, you're definitely gonna find Crypto. Of course, STALWARTxFLEX having secured the highest kills in the lobby, it's evident
for sure.
that you would have 1 or 2 players. I mean, reviews from just that one game, he must be inside the kill leaderboards. But either ways, taking a look at how things are, we've seen STALWARTxFLEX and A1 Esports time and again in Los Leones. Sometimes they fight, sometimes they walk off their own ways. Now, but today, what is going to happen? We do not know. What we do want to see is the fight breaking out. And if it does in the early game stages, I mean, I would love it. And A1 Esports and STALWARTxFLEX, which pretty much means like the two best teams from their individual region going up against each other. I mean, that must be a delight for all the viewers watching out here.
That's for sure. That will be an absolute delight, especially when these two teams will fight against each other. Then it's going to be quite an iconic moment for a lot of people in the chat. But now, as you did mention, they have been locking horns a lot of times, but it doesn't really seem like any casualty is being made. They just walk their ways off most of the time. But as you did mention as well, these are scrims. Maybe they will change their rotation pattern just for the scrims, you know, just to not let any other team learn, just to not let any other team just book their strategy down. And in the future, they definitely do not want to get read like a book. So you want to make sure you are throwing in some surprising factors inside the game.
Well, you indeed have to. But,
Well,
all right. This is you need to have these light moments in the game, don't you? But right now, considering how things are and how teams are playing over here, you've got A1 rather going for a really quick and early rotation. They do understand, you know, La Bendita is definitely one of those places where Circle can really be the center. And you know, Miramar does not play with your hearts a lot, right? We do not really see those drastic shifts so often. It's quite rare.
yeah.
And circles are usually kind of anticipated. We can predict where it is going to head out, and I completely abide by the decision made by the players of A1 Esports, you know, trying to go and secure the center for themselves. But so far it's been kind of quiet.
Pretty quiet, as we would like to say. I mean, again, the map of Miramar, massive map. You do have enough time for yourself and your team to make sure the rotation is being made, even in those early games. Most of the times, you do not really lock horns. You do not really get spotted out because it's just a massive map. Each and every single team is busy doing their own stuff, and they don't really want to cross your path early off inside the map of Miramar. They do know if you survive to the late game, that's going to be the best, especially inside the map of Miramar, or any map as well. Especially inside Miramar, if you do make it to those late games, then stuff gets pretty tricky. And we do know, we have seen in the past as well, and when stuff gets tricky, we do know a lot of random factors do fall in as well. You do not really spot a lot of teams. If you're out in the open, you're going to get caught off guard. You're going to get taken down within a blink of an eye.
Of course, but seems like the players of Deadeyes do need some driving lessons, or are they really intoxicated right now? I mean, by the looks of it, they surely are. But yeah, jokes apart, you know, trying to traverse around the terrain. Gotta see as to how they do that. And boys and girls, take our lessons. Never ever drink and drive. And
Never,
if
ever.
you're a minor, don't ever drink at all. But you know, apart from the small little jokes that we tend to crack, getting back to the game in hand, you've got PN Crew. Now this is another squad. I mean, I'm kind of willy-nilly about them, right?
Yeah.
They certainly haven't been the best, but they haven't been the worst either.
For sure, they haven't been the worst either. I mean, as you did mention, as I did mention, you know, QWERTY, he does have one of the best map awareness as well, and he does know how to challenge each and every single fight. But sometimes stuff don't really go his way. He expects one thing and then it happens the other way, and we do know it has happened with us a lot of times as well. So the random factor, again, as I did mention, this is what I like about this game. Sometimes the unpredictableness of each and every single moment. It does happen and it does hit you pretty hard. Instead of molding, though, you should be facing those situations and you should be knowing, okay, what did I do wrong in that certain situation, and try and improve on those situations. But as you did mention, as you were given, you know, some helping hands and some helping lines as well, that you should not drink at all. I mean, I really feel like as the time that we're going through, you should be saying use mask and use a sanitizer bottle with you all the time.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, we might be divided by nations, but we do have that one enemy that, we have to fight. That's the virus itself. And yes, how do you do that? Stay safe. Do not be stupid. Wear your masks. Of course, maintain social distancing if you have to get your necessary commodities. And of course, like Necro said, stay sanitized. And it's, of course, your best friend. And of course, well, they do smell great. So yeah, that's an added
Yeah.
benefit to all the young lads watching it out. But A1 Esports, in the meanwhile, spotting a Murado in the far off right, taking a few shots, but we do have some fights breaking out. STALWARTxFLEX in a bit of trouble over there.
Exactly. Crypto already gone down as well, following it up with Blade, and now Uzum is there in the back lines to provide that essential cover, maybe get the res onto his teammate as well, but he has been taken down as well. TDK kind of falling heavy on the players of STALWARTxFLEX. That was just the last man alive. Reviews, he got himself that opening kill that he was looking for. Redditzer has been spotted out as well. That little head is quite hard to hit. He's not really able to find the precision that he's looking for though. Redditzer up till now is looking quite good. Blasting the vehicle out, making sure Reviews is not too close, and Reviews wasn't. That social distancing was maintained by him with that vehicle. And now Reviews again on that aggressive step. He does know he needs to take out Redditzer, but no, Redditzer is just way too brilliant in fights like these, and he's going to be finding his right moment.
There settles the dust, T2K going up against STALWARTxFLEX. T2K were the ones who strategically outplayed them. You've got to give it to these lads. Now, Reviews did put up a fight, and I could understand why that impatience was displayed by him, right?
Yeah.
He had no other choice because three of his teammates were kind of bleeding. He needed to act really fast. Now, T2K, they also had two of their players down, but I really liked how Utsaga played it out towards the very end. I mean, that's the kind of a performance that you would expect from this veteran. He's always been there for his team, and now maybe the casters curse. Or did we actually jinx it, Necro? Because I really thought that maybe STALWARTxFLEX had what it takes to win in this one, which now leaves us to maybe QWERTY trying to get the win. But either ways, I really loved how T2K approached that fight.
Exactly. I loved the way TDK actually did approach that fight. They were the one initially who had the number advantage Reviews, but then he came in, he got himself that knock. Then it was a one-on-one fight, and again, Redditzer came out on top in those kind of fights as well. If you remember, in the same scrims, against NFP, Redditzer actually did a 1-on-4 clutch in the end, and he got his team a chicken dinner.
I think it was in Miramar.
Yep, it was in
And
Miramar as well.
it was against NFP Sky. I
Yep,
mean, how
yep.
could we forget that moment? Just solo surviving all by his lonesome. That dude really managed to get those 4 kills, and we were kind of taken aback. I must say, is the right word for it. I did not see that coming, to be honest, But I always knew that, he could certainly clutch out squads. But taking a look at how the shift has been, this time going a bit down south towards Los Leones. Now, P and crew are in the center, rather in the epicenter itself. So, gotta see as to how they play this one out.
Exactly. I mean, it has to be pretty safe though, because all these teams are posting themselves up for the late game situation, and you cannot really be having the center of the circle all the time for yourself, especially if it's already being taken by a team. The circle shift has been quite interesting now inside the city of Los Leones, almost. It is covering half of the city though. The next circle shift would be quite interesting to see as well. Futurestation this time has been spotted out by the players of High Voltage, but it seems like Cloud is making quite an interesting decision not to fight and go for the rotation, which is pretty noble and which is pretty knowledgeable as well. A mature decision from the side of High Voltage, and this is what we expect from a team like this. A1 Esports though in the kill feed showing their name up, including Deadeyes as well.
I mean, High Voltage have certainly vanished. I do not really know what's wrong with their squad. Now, this is one of those dynamic squads that always tend to impress me with the kind of plays they make, right? Now, they kind of fizzled out, to be honest. They kind of out of juice is the right word, because we know once these players start rolling, once Assassin gets into his groove, we know what he's capable of. But look at Kamshi, that's some precision right out there with his M4, and does manage to indeed seek that knock over there. And how? I mean, that was an M4 with the 3 times, the 6 times being recalibrated, and he was so precise, he was so accurate at such long ranges.
That's for sure. Pretty accurate in those long ranges, and that's going to be the success for Miramar as well. If you're going to be having that precision with you in those long ranges in the map of Miramar, it's going to be helping you out quite a lot. And you might be the star player for your team as well. Circle kind of shifting towards Las Leonas. This is what I exactly like to see. I was expecting a Las Leonas shift since the start, and now it seems like my hinge is quite right. It is shifting quite next to the Las Leonas, and now Team QWERTY seems like they are in quite a bit of a pickle as God's Reborn are pushing against them. Khan and Zayden are the last 2 men alive. The nades are lobbed in inside the house as well. They have heard them. They have heard their presence. The footsteps are given away from the side of Team QWERTY, and this is where the rest of the backup follows up in as well. Zayden on that aggressive page. He wants those kills for himself, and same goes with Khan. Found himself the one, but now being a little too greedy for that finish, and he has been traded out by Koa. Here comes Zayden as well from the backlines, taking Sketch down instantly, and there will be the trade as well from their side. And Koa finally getting the final kill on Team QWERTY though, but the damage has been done.
The damage indeed has been done, but finally we find ourselves in a different fight altogether. Venom Legends inching it really close to the boys from A1 Esports. Now 6ix9ine is definitely trying to lob that grenade, has taken a lot of damage up until the point he gets knocked out. Raffet taking a lot of jumps out around here. I do not really know why he's dancing. And now he's finally healed himself up. And Venom Legends and A1 Esports. Now this is one of those iconic fights that we get to witness in the Bangladeshi region. Now we've got Kangaroo lobbing that grenade, or at least trying to, because the players from the backlines, they're doing so much damage out there. Now Nightwing was definitely the one providing the cover fire, but can he get towards his team at the right nick of time? Frypan having already gotten knocked out by Reckless from the far off Ray, but Raffet trying to go aggressive, does manage to find Sinister, but it's going to be Kangaroo who's going to trade him off as Eagle Shot. He is finally the final survivor for his team. Can he do it though? Does manage to take down Kangaroo in the process. Now it is a 1v1 situation. It is him against Dante, but from the backlines, it's going to be the boys from God's Reborn who's going to get that final kill, and with that, Venom Legends have been wiped out.
Ruining the day for Venom Legends. God's Reborn seems like they are pretty good at ruining people's days, and this is what they've been doing inside this entire competition. Deadeyes is the team that is quite next to the players of A1 Esports, and it seems like this time they're getting third-partied as well. PN Crew is still there in the clotheslines. They need to watch out. Deadeyes might be going up head-to-head against the players of PN Crew. The same thing is happening. Legend lobbing in the nades inside that little pit, and yes, he's going to be finding and wiping out the entire squad of A1 Esports. And it seems like PN Crew up till now are doing quite an incredible job.
Wow, I mean, considering what we are witnessing, it's absolute massacre. It's absolute mayhem throughout the lobbies, the valleys being echoing with all those bullets over here. Now, right now, PN Crew, well, they did capitalize on the situation. I absolutely loved how they did that. But, God's Reborn definitely being the low keys over there, the one to cause mischief, and did a lot. Venom Legends, they possibly could have had that fight had God's Reborn not interfered from behind. But that's the way of life. PUBG Mobile does give you some life lessons, that is to always watch your back and always be careful. You need to be vigilant every single time. Now, if you're complacent, that is something that will definitely happen to you.
Definitely. And now, PN Crew again. Sunday seems like he's on the move. He's quick on his feet though. Same goes with High Voltage, a team that likes to play it out quite safe and tactically till there's 8 games. And it seems like they found themselves a place which they can call it a home, at least temporarily, because they will have to move inside the circle as soon as possible. And this is where the trouble and the pressure will probably be building up on them.
All right, so Team DRS finally stepping things up. putting their foot on the pedal, getting a few knocks. Evil Eye having been taken out. Machine is of course going in for the revive, but T2K, well, the boys, they are definitely trained to kill, and they're getting quite some knocks for themselves.
They are opening the fray up as well. God's Reborn in quite an uncomfortable spot. There's so many teams right next to them. Blood Legion, PN Crew, right next to each other, and God's Reborn is kind of sandwiched between these two teams, and High Voltage is there in the back lines of PN Crew as well. This is where PN Crew is also kind of sandwiched between them. There's just so many teams, and I'm pretty sure one more circle shift is going to be causing an absolute havoc.
Oh, indeed it will. Right now, considering how things are, PN Crew, well, they're holding on to the compounds over here. Deadeyes, see for sure. He does need to get that revive on back towards Illusion over there, and he's going to stick that one up. Now, I'm kind of missing out on Hungry Box. One, throws me into wondering why he's not there, because he's definitely one of the players who tends to survive till the end, gets a lot of kills, is one of those aggressive players that you can always rely on. But Cooney, you should not be doing that. He's your own teammate, for Christ's sake, and this might just bite them in the back later on, or maybe in this particular fight itself.
It will definitely bite them. Any kind of those rookie mistakes will be helping your enemies out, and Cooney needs to realize that. Last man standing for High Voltage. What is he going to be able to do though? Trying to hide behind the guy who's down is kind of a brilliant move, but no, it's not going to be working out this time though. See, Sheepful almost got taken down, but he did manage to take him down instead. Deadeyes came out on top in that fight. They do have 3 players alive inside the late game situation, so up till now they're looking pretty good. Blood Legion as well have all their 4 players alive, and they're kind of doing the same mistake. They have separated out from the rest of the 2 players that they did in Miramar, and they are repeating the same thing again inside this map.
Well, they indeed are. I mean, considering what just happened to High Voltage, this is something that we're not really accustomed, team kills. On this level, High Voltage is definitely not one of the teams that does that quite often, but you always have bad days, right? This definitely today is one of theirs. And now Deadeyes trying to make their way inside the circle. We've got Blood Legion again carrying out that 2-2 split. This time they've got Riddle in their squad from Eccentric Infinity. That's going to be an interesting choice as they're trying out different players for themselves. But Sandesh, again, this mean man, we do know how explosive he can get, especially in the maps like Miramar, where he gets to yield that bold action for himself. But it's going to be Kyolzin who's going to be getting his hands on towards Seawine, but we still have Mom 2 having been taken down by Riddle. Now this is not coming in from Blood Legion. Now R3G, they might just be in a whole world of trouble.
They might just be in a whole world of trouble. So many fights breaking down as the circle is shrinking as well. Did predict that initially. Now Blood Legion are looking pretty good even inside the late game circles. PN Crew still alive and good looking. They have all their players alive. And same goes with DRS as well. They have a massive chance of winning this game. As I did mention, maybe DRS will strike in later. Maybe DRS will be striking each and every single enemy down in those later tournament phases. And it seems like they're doing the exact same thing. But the first day is going to be the most important day, especially inside the scrims, as knowing you just have 3 games and 2 days. And that is quite unfortunate. 6 games in total, and 3 games are already completed, as third being this one. That means you only have 3 left. And what are you going to be able to do in the rest 3 games if your first day wasn't really that good?
Well, you just have to be, on your absolute best. I think there's no other answer to that. But now things have started getting very interesting. 6 circle about to end. We still have 23 players. After a long time is what we're witnessing is an urban circle, and that towards Los Leones. Now these teams really need to kind of rack up their gray cells over here, because it's been quite some time that we've seen a circle trying to end towards those Los Leones area. Now this is a huge area, and you need to be understanding every single nook and cranny around here to be coming out as the winner.
Of course, PN Crew again waiting it out just barely on the edge of the zone wall. They need to make sure they're getting back in circle in time, but at the same time, they're getting held down by their enemies. 7C realizing that Blood Legion is right in their enemy lines, lobbing in a little bit of nades. But they need to watch out from Blood Legion as well, as they're the cold-blooded killers. And someone needs to arrest them because they are pretty good. And now, taking a look at 7C, gotten themselves the higher ground. They do sense the enemy presence in the enemy lines, in the front lines. And all they're waiting for is a rookie mistake, is a peek. And then they will be able to punish them out.
Well, they definitely will try to do that. PN Crew Sandesh does have his eyes set onto it. The players of Blood Legion has managed to spot out Gyro in the open. Does decide to lob that grenade. Is it gonna get delivered? Has the message been sent? No, it's not gonna be a grenade over there. It's a Molotov, kind of a warning signal for these boys. PN Crew have kind of established this fact that yes, they are watching them and they're gonna try and stop them at their tracks. But considering how the circle has shifted, they have to get inside the zone. 15 meters is what they will have to cover. Can they do that in the right nick of time? That only time is gonna tell. But either ways, 1952, they are going big this time. Considering Legend, his angles, he should be shooting rather than throwing nades.
He should be shooting rather than throwing nades. Because, well, quite unfortunate stuff. PN Crew getting caught off guard in their right lines, making it back to cover and safety in the right nick of time. Legend trying to provide that essential nade, that essential cover nade, making sure his teammate is back in safety. He does know Leo is right in the next lines, and all they need to do is just push onto him with a perfect coordination push, with a perfect executed push. They do not really want to get caught off guard in those unfortunate stuff. And it seems like Leo has been taken down and dusted.
Yup, right now PN Crew, they're actually enjoying themselves. 9 kills already, but from the backlines, they could have taken some massive damage. And SharpX had actually started to do that. But before he could even try, it was the zone that got the better of him. As Sandesh will, of course, get that kill confirmed. Right now, PN Crew have their eyes set on towards the boys of DRS, who apparently are holding a higher ground.
They are holding the higher ground. PN Crew, Killer YT down and kind of almost getting dusted with that nade, though. Legend took quite a lot of damage from that nade, but he's looking quite good. The rest will be there on the Killer. DRS doing quite an incredible job, even inside the late games up till now. They do want to find themselves the kills, though. They do know someone is getting rest behind that wall. And here comes the nade from Mafia Ninja. This is going to be a golden nade. If he's able to connect, that means that's a green signal for them to push on the players of PN Crew. But instead, some opposing nades coming in from the side of PN Crew, dealing a little damage to Galson. This another nade might be quite detrimental, and yes, it is! Killer YT finding himself the knock that he was looking for, and now this is where things are crumbling apart for DRS.
They indeed are, but now Nima has got to be the one making the difference over there with PN Crew. Every single player trying to charge inside. Now it's a vertical fight that we are witnessing, but it's AJ from the far off raid does manage to take down Sandesh, which gives the opening for the players of DRS to try and come and get that res back up. But it's going to be Legend who's not going to be stopping. Does manage to find AJ, finishes him off, does not give him a second chance at breathing, at survival. As the zone, the 8th circle is starting to close in, the things have started becoming really interesting. Sandesh finally healing himself up, but then again, burning right after, as Galson will manage to find that knock onto its Legend, as Nima gets that knock, but the match has finally ended. Who gets the chicken? It's gonna be the boys from DRS. How on earth have they pulled this one off?
Legends finally showing themselves off and getting this chicken dinner, but quite a tricky way to get it, though. In the end, the health lines were not really looking good, but they still did manage to get the chicken dinner, and that's all that matters. DRS, an incredible way to finish the game in your hands, and with a decent amount of kills as well.
Really, Necro, what happened in those final moments? All I did see was a circle closing in. The players of PN Crew were on the ground floor. The players of DRS were on the top floor. They had even trades, for Christ's sake. And the next thing we do realize is the match is ended and DRS walk off with the victory. But either ways, I mean, we've got to give the ups to both these teams, right? Be it Crew and DRS are both playing their best game. And the way they've done that, it's the perfect end to the evening. What we really thought could have been a Pakistani victory, Pakistani chicken dinner, because of the custom that we were sort of trying to follow. The first one going to the Bangladesh team, then the second to the Nepali. We thought the third might go towards the Pakistani teams, but all the Pakistani teams did not really have a good time over here in this map of Miramar.
Exactly. I mean, overall, they're not really having their day, Fixes. Maybe just an unlucky day. But the second day, maybe they'll be able to show up. But as I did mention, the first day was the most important day. If
Yep.
you are going to get your momentum going in these 3 games, then maybe in the second day you would have a little bit of loose hand. But now for these teams that are not really doing that good, they will have to keep their hands tight, making sure they're not letting any sand fall away, and making sure they are closing their fists in as tight as possible, because this second day is going to be the most important day of their lives if they want those $1,000.
Yep. I mean, if you want those $1,000, that is the most important day of your lives, ladies and gentlemen.
Exactly.
Only if you want that. All right. So, I mean, I would love myself some $1,000. I mean,
For sure.
I can, I can imagine myself just investing that into crypto, but into cryptocurrencies, not into the player. So, just a clarification. But either ways, ladies and gentlemen, we are finally done with all our 3 games for the evening. And DRS, what a way to close things up, right?
Yep.
You can never rule them out, and this is also something that they did even in the last week. They were somewhere on towards the bottom last, and these lads out of nowhere managed to have really consecutive good games, and including
Yeah.
some chickens. And here they are today again, starting things on a bad note, but ending the day on a high. And I think once the overall standings do come up, we'll have a more clearer picture as to where they stand. But I think T2K is definitely going to be ending the day on the top spot, considering they've been consistent throughout every single game.
Exactly. The consistency is what matters quite a lot. And DRS didn't really show that. But in the end game, they did get 25 points on their name. But is it going to be enough, though, for day one to let your hands kind of let loose in the day two as well? I mean, yeah, again, getting yourself a chicken dinner in the day one, maybe, you would have your confidence boosted up. Especially if teams like STALWARTxFLEX step up and show their name on the day two as well, then maybe things would be quite tough for those for some teams, especially a team like DRS. They will have to kind of move themselves up in those overall rankings.
But here you go. The overall rankings coming after game 3, and T2K, like predicted, have managed to hold on to the first spot that they have in STALWARTxFLEX. Considering their Miramar outing, they've taken just a small back step over there, but I think they're gonna recover. But I really liked how P and Crew have taken the second spot. But this brings me into a big concern for Team A1 Esports, Team QWERTY, those two big names from the individual region. And with, of course, one more day remaining, 3 more games, I think we can see that change happening, right? The changes will be really drastic, because one bad game costed STALWARTxFLEX to be right at the very bottom over there. Like 29 points is certainly something that you would not really expect from them. You would expect them to be somewhere around that 35 plus mark.
For sure, for sure. STALWARTxFLEX is a team that we do expect, and we do know they are one of the best as well. And I personally do expect some incredible performance from STALWARTxFLEX. But as I did mention, first day, maybe, things are looking a little wobbly. But in the second day, I really feel like we would expect some tight performance.
Yes, with the day already ending up, it's also time for us to head back, have our chicken dinners. But before that being said, if you did like our cast, don't forget to follow our Instagram socials. You can, of course, find it right beneath our names. But with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we will be calling it a night, in fact, and we'll meet you tomorrow Till then, stay safe and stay sanitized.
Let's get it. Let's get it.